What's up, guys? It's Rahul from the Chaos Gym, and today we're going to talk about the Seattle Metagame because it's going to be kind of wild with a bunch of new decks coming back, old decks coming back to life, new decks making an emergence, a lot of decks that we thought were very popular that dominated regionals like Virginia and the Intercontinentals are no longer going to be relevant, really. So, let's take a look, I guess, at some of my top things that I expect to see, what I would personally play had I gone. I'm not making it because of money. It's just expensive, and I'm spending the weekend with my family instead. Um, so the biggest deck to be concerned about this weekend is Garbodor variants. Garbodor Drampa has been popping up in droves. Garbodor, the Bunnelby version I saw from the Milan special event. I don't think that'll really pop up or have popularity behind it, but the Drampa version's gonna be sure, and the Tauros one as well. But I think more people are subbing out the Tauros for the Drampa because it's infinitely better. So you guys should be watching out for that deck. I personally, it would be one of my top choices if I was to play it, but I probably would not play it, mostly because I've not tested enough, and I don't feel comfortable yet with variant that I think is good. I'm working on like a Vespiquen version, but like that's me. Once I get like a polished list out, I'll put up a video. So second deck that you guys should be worried about is Greninja. Greninja is coming back, and it's coming back in full force. Just all it's got was Field Blower and Choice Band, and just those two cards have put it back on the map. Because Choice Band is that like 30 extra damage you get from a Shadow Stitching now is like, or any attack, it's just a Shadow Stitching is now doubled on damage. And so you're three-shotting Megas with three Shadow Stitches. And so you're beating Guardy, you're beating Ray, you're beating decks like that just based on Shadow Stitching and bumping their stadiums over and over and over again. And Field Blower's really good because Garbodor was like probably one of the only things stopping it. Decidueye also being one. But like you still take the loss to Decidueye. You just kind of like accept it. Then we have Gyarados. Gyarados is also back. Gyarados is very good. Gyarados is reminiscent of old Night March because it can just power down things with one prize attackers. The four rescue stretchers now makes it a lot better because you don't have the buddy buddies anymore. And you have choice band, so if you play 2 to 3, you can slap 2 on and you're one-shotting at something with 210 HP, even if one carp is prized. Yeah, so you get the double tool attachment. It's actually relevant for once. Lucky Helmet kind of was, but it's not really. Those are 3. 4 is Mega Gardevoir. I was toying around with a preliminary list that I took to a cup, and I went 3-2 with, purely because I didn't anticipate as much Greninja. And Greninja's a pretty poor matchup for Gardevoir, but my good friend Brad Curcio took a literal, almost exact 60 card list and won 2 cups with it. So it's a very good list, and Gardevoir is good. So I would expect it. Not in massive numbers, but it's a good deck. Fifth, Sylveon. Obviously, Sylveon. Sylveon's getting a lot of hype. I don't think Sylveon's a tier 1 deck. I think it's a tier 2 deck, but in the hands of a good player, it's a tier 1 deck, like Alex Koch and Sableye Garbodor. Like, Sableye Garbodor never did well, but Alex Koch, or Cook, I'm sorry, Alex, if you're watching this, he dominates with Sableye Garb. He's like one of the best, so it's similar in that regard. Decidueye Plume didn't go anywhere. Did not go anywhere. If I was going to CL, it would be 95% my play for this weekend. Like, very strongly, I feel like Decidueye is a very good play this weekend still. I do not like the Ninetales version that Gonzalo popularized. There's like droves of YouTube videos been coming out since Gonzalo posted his like teaser about it. So I thought about the Vulpix in the deck, not the Ninetales. That's an oversight on my part when I was testing, but I think that just playing it straightforward, Lugia is still really good. But I would take an Espeon EX because you don't beat Sylveon without it. You have to have it. Some people like the Rainbows version still with Regice or like Jolteons or whatever attackers you want, but I think that version's weaker to Drampa, so I like this straightforward version. Decidueye Plume, number 1 pick for sure for me going into this weekend. If I was playing, there's the Vikavolt deck that did decent. I don't think that's going to be seeing play, but it could. Turbo Dark is gone, I think, for the most part. it may make a resurgence. I don't think so. It's just too slow to keep up with everything now. It's weird to say, I know. It doesn't hit those one-shots anymore. It's Water Box. Water Box in any variant I think is good. Water Box is going to be good because of speed lappers. You have Max Ice or you have Water Patch. And you can just go pop off on something. Ninetales as an individual deck is also very good because you just play like quad Ninetales and like Ice Path GX is really good, and then you just like do the 160 attack. Like I know Russell Lepar talked about it in the Team Fish Knuckles video, and Ryan Sablehouse, my partner, has been on Ninetales forever. Like he literally convinced me to buy a playset because he thinks it was so good from the day he saw it. So Ninetales is also very good. Other than that, there's a lot of decks to cover. That's what's so exciting about this format. But those are the big ones for the most part. And then, yeah, so I would expect those to play against those. Seattle's going to be a small one. I think they'll have a day two, hopefully. If not, it's going to be a very, very tough regionals. If I went, I would have more than likely played Decidueye Plume. Followed up by Gyarados because I think those are the two best decks currently. And the third best deck being Garbodor variants. But because I don't want to ever play Greninja again. I'm mentally scarred because the deck is sometimes just loses to itself, and I don't want that. But yeah, I kept this short, brief. Let me know if you guys have questions. Me and the CCG Castle guys should have some discussion videos with more than just me coming up soon because we're going to have marathons of tournaments. I'm going to try to vlog because I'm doing Madison, Mexico, Origins, and Nats. So that's going to be a bunch of weekends in a row. I think almost all of us are coming to Madison, barring Grafted and Chris. Mexico is everybody barring Grafted and Chris again. Origins, I think it's just going to be myself, Igor, going to that one. And then Nats should be the whole gang. So I'm going to try to vlog that, especially Mexico and stuff. So I will talk to you guys afterwards.